I think everybody's kind of found their new normal after about 5 weeks of this. You're looking at a lot of Zoom meetings. You're looking at a lot of teaching meetings. The biggest question mark, as everybody would agree with, is the health and safety of the players when they get back. That would be my biggest takeaway from this.
Today's about confrontation. Today's about courage. And today's about unfinished business.
Visiting with head coach Gene Chizik.
I'd like to welcome in our next guest, former Auburn coach, current SEC Network analyst Gene Chizik now joins us. Coach, appreciate the time as we look towards the draft tonight, and you can find draft coverage both on ESPN and ABC all weekend long. Coach, what do you think the biggest thing players are missing out on right now in preparation for the NFL draft based on what's going on with the coronavirus?
Well, it's really a difficult time, guys, and these are unprecedented times. I wouldn't want to be a scout in the NFL right now, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously you're going to have a couple of no-brainers, or at least what people think are no-brainers going into the draft. But think about this, guys. Most pro days never happened. Private workouts didn't happen. The facility visits where you bring them to you and you can, get them evaluated by your doctors and, do things with them at your facility, that didn't happen. The physical rechecks where they check these guys at the combine. Then all of a sudden, after the combine, they come back before the draft and recheck them again. That didn't happen. So I think you got a lot of question marks with a lot of these guys. And let's be honest, a lot of times when you evaluate a player, you want to be with those guys face to face, a lot of times on their home turf, spend some time with them. And quite frankly, all of that got cut short. So it's going to be interesting to see the effect that ultimately has on the draft.
Coach, we have an interesting situation right now with Arkansas basketball where two guys have entered their name in the NBA draft, but they're still deciding if they want to come back or not. When you were a coach and you were talking to players who were in their junior year, debating on whether or not they wanted to come back for their senior year, what was the biggest piece of the puzzle when deciding if a guy needs to come back or not?
Well, I think accurate evaluations. And what's sad is too many times these days, you'll see athletes lean on people that really don't have the knowledge, the correct evaluation tools or access to those tools to give them valid information. And one of the things that I know from a football perspective, and I know basketball is a little bit different, there's nothing more frustrating for a coach than to listen to a young guy say that he's going to come out. He's not ready. He's not a first or second round draft pick. And many times, you're not even sure if he's going to get drafted at all, but he's hearing from different people that he's going to be a third rounder or a second rounder, and all of these different people in his ear, and it gets really frustrating. So the main thing is, am I going to be a top pick? And you got to figure out what that means to you. It's different for everybody. For me, it was if you're a first rounder, it's a no-brainer. There's no way I can talk you out of that unless you have a specific reason that you want to come back. And I give a lot of guys credit that do that, but those guys are few and far between. What you see more of is the other way, guys that think they're a high draft pick, guys that think that they're ready, and all of a sudden they turn around, they don't get drafted, or they're a 6th or 7th round pick fighting for their life when they could have come back to college, had an unbelievable senior year, and improved their draft status. So, but the main thing is accurate evaluation and assessment of these guys and really listening to the right people.
SEC Network analyst Gene Chizik with us here on the Morning Rush. All right, you're now the owner, you're now the general manager of your favorite NFL team, and you got to make some choices here. You're in the draft room. You got to choose between these two SEC players that I'm getting ready to give you a couple matchups here. You need a wide receiver. You taking Jerry Jeudy from Bama or Henry Ruggs? Which Bama wide receiver do you want on your team?
Well, you're getting two great players. That's a tough choice, but I'm going with Jerry Jeudy first. I think Jerry Judy's got some unbelievable skills in terms of stop-start ability. He doesn't have the outright speed that Henry Ruggs has, but Jerry Judy's got an incredible knack, guys. He's 6'1". I think before it's all said and done, he's going to be a 200-pound receiver. I think he's a guy that runs really, really good routes. His top-end speed is great. Is it 4.2, I'm a blur great like Henry Ruggs? No, it's not. But what he does with the ball after the catch, his yards after catch are unbelievable. if you have a quarterback in the NFL that can throw him open and let him not break stride, you're going to have an explosive, big play guy. He's got great hands. He runs great routes. He's got a really, really good football IQ. I just love everything about him. I think he's got the it factor at wideout. But I got to say that, guys, with this asterisk, whenever you got a guy in Henry Ruggs that's in the 4.2s, that's a blur. And that kind of speed is hard to find. So he's not far behind him. But if you put a gun to my head and say which one you're going to take first, I'd have to go with Jerry Jeudy.
All right, good stuff there. Now you need a defensive lineman. You want Auburn's Derek Brown or you want South Carolina's Javon Kinlaw?
I'm going Auburn's Derek Brown. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. This guy is as dominating as a football player on the defensive line as an interior player is anybody that I've seen in a long time. And look, that's you can look at the Deron Payne. You can see the Paynes that came from Alabama. There's a lot of good ones that have come from this league. This guy, everybody knew that this guy is a disruptor. Everybody knew that on pass protection, you better send the center his way so you could double him. Everybody knew his ability to move around outside, inside. Everybody knew what they needed to do to stop him, and nobody could. He was violent. He was disruptive. Look, guys, he's 6'5", 330 pounds, and he can play outside and he can play inside. This guy is just a talent that is incredible. The size, speed, athletic ability, and let me tell you something, the true knowledge of the game, his football IQ is off the chart, so somebody's going to get themselves a steal. He's definitely a top 10 pick in my eyes, and he'd be the first interior D lineman I would take, period. In the draft.
All right, last one. You need a running back. You're the GM or the owner tonight. Do you want DeAndre Swift from Georgia or LSU's Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift, guys, and I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I love what he brings to the table in terms of a complete player. Clyde certainly was an enormous part of this LSU offense. You can split him out at wideout. He runs tough. He's low to the ground. He runs for those tough yards. Great in pass protection. But, guys, DeAndre Swift's another gear guy. They're talking about him potentially going to the Chiefs maybe as the last pick in the first round. I see him as definitely a first-rounder. If he goes to the Chiefs, you put him back there with those other weapons that they've already got, people better look out. This dude is unbelievable. I was on the same team with Jamal Charles, who played with the Chiefs, and he was with us at University of Texas when we won it all. And DeAndre Swift right now, Jamal had a 10, 11-year career. This guy right now, provided he stays healthy, I think he's going to be unbelievable. He can catch the football. You can split him out as a wideout. He runs for tough yards inside. He's got the ability to stretch the defense horizontally and then put a foot in the ground right now and make a jump cut on a dime. I think he's spectacular. I think he's going to have an unbelievable NFL career. He's the first guy I'm taking off the board.
Coach, let me top off the interview with this. A lot of people like Tua Tagavola. A lot of people like Joe Burrow. It seems like that Joe Burrow is going to be number one overall unless Chase Young jumps in that conversation. Of those two quarterbacks, long-term, has a more successful NFL career?
Guys, that's so hard. I'm going to tell you something. Tua, over the test of time, has been unbelievable. As I watch him, it would be hard for me at Miami at number 5 to pass him up. I think he's a game changer. I think his arm strength, his accuracy, his ability to make quick decisions, he can make things happen when nothing's there. He throws receivers open. It's incredible. Obviously, the health issue is going to be the biggest question mark for him. What can you say about Joe Burrow? We haven't seen anything like that. And look, I've had 5 first-round draft pick quarterbacks on my teams through the years. Joe Burrow is as impressive as anybody, but let's be real. Joe Burrow also had an incredible amount of talent around him, not that Tua did not. Joe had an unbelievable year, unprecedented numbers, but he had some wideouts and running backs that were absolutely incredible. Joe Burrow made it go. It's going to be very interesting. He will be a great face of the program for the Bengals. I think he's going to go undoubtedly at number one. But Tua is not far behind him. Joe's got the size. He's got the arm. He's got the acumen. He's got the IQ. He's got all of those things. Who's going to be the better one down the road? I just don't know, guys. But I will tell you this: if Tua is healthy, it's going to be hard for anybody to have a pro career in this class like he is. And I know people are talking about Justin Herbert, rightly so. I think Tua's got the it factor. Everybody in that football team will follow him like a Pied Piper, provided he stays healthy. So strap it up, get ready to hang in there with both hands and both feet, because it's going to be a fun ride watching them all.
Gene Chizik, former Auburn coach, SEC Network analyst. Coach, thank you so much for making some time for us. And like you, we're really looking forward to tonight.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and thanks for having me on.